I am a goober, but at least I can admit it, dude. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm late today on another exciting episode of Why Was Dodger Late? I'm late today because I drove all the way here and I had the wrong fucking house keys. I had the house keys for the new house, not the old one. So I got all the way here and was like, why can't I get in? Goober behavior. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I admit it. It's goober behavior. So then I had to message my mods and be like, hi. I won't be there on time because, I don't have the right keys. You come to the rented house just to work? It's effectively an extremely expensive office at this point, yeah. We do not have working or stable internet for work at the new place. So, yeah. I suppose that's a fair reason to be late on my birthday. Happy birthday, Telly! Oh, happy birthday, bud. I would never tell my mods they're stinky unless they were. Unless it was the truth. Yeah, so we're basically contacting a bunch of different companies to be like, hi, we would love if you put a line in where we live. That would be so cool. Do you remember when we were about to move and people were like, oh man, it's a farm. I bet the internet's garbage. And I was like, apparently the internet in whatever village, whatever the fuck, that's closest to us has really good internet. So we're not worried. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You know, sometimes shit just doesn't go your way. So, yeah. So now we're going, well, we have a little time left on the BT contract that's currently at this house. So BT and OpenReach are looking to maybe transfer the line to the new place. And at the same time, we're also talking with other companies because we fucking hate BT. But to buy out our contract at this point is financial destitution. So we're like, okay, so maybe what the play is gonna be is like BT moves the line and hopefully doesn't fucking take a million years about it. And then once the contract with BT is up, we have something set up to take its place right away. But I don't know. It sucks because it's already gonna be, we're already gonna have to like pay extra because it's not just getting set up and like going to the house, right? That's not all that's going on here. There's the house, and then there's the garage where Sam is building his office, and then there's the annex where my in-laws are living. We need the internet to go everywhere. So we're already, it's already gonna cost a lot, right? Like, so it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I'm getting flashbacks of the internet trouble you had at this place. It is what it is. It's okay. But it is what it is. So for now, yeah. We're working out of this place. Is Clark settling into the farm well? She is. Yeah, she loves it. Yesterday was like how I want most days in my life to be. It was my mother and father-in-law, my sister-in-law, a friend of the family, me, Clark, Sam, all of us just like working on the farm in different ways. Sam, not so much because his phone broke. Dude, I can, like, literally, the subathon ended, and he was like, I'm gonna take a couple days to myself, right? So I'm gonna put a few games on the laptop. I'll download them at this house so that, you know, I don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of downloading them at a place with worse internet, but the internet should be fine enough that I can play these games, right? So he comes to the farm. None of the games he wants to play are running. they can't run. And then his phone breaks. And he takes it to a repair place. And they're like, we can't do anything for you. This phone is destroyed. We can maybe get the information off of it. But, like, we can't make this workable. And so he's being told that the earliest he can get a phone because of complications with his account is Tuesday. So yesterday, I, like a goofball, was like, I don't know, maybe this is a good opportunity to like exercise a new hobby. And he was like, Brooke, I don't want to do a new thing. I don't want to do a new thing. I did this fucking subathon, and now I just want to do the things that I already like doing, and I can't even do those things. It's like I can't play the games I want to play. I can't do anything on my phone. I can't ship post. All my authenticators are gone. I can't log into anything. It's like, I can't do anything. It's like, I'm sorry. You are so right. This is one of those situations where it's like, do you want me to listen or do you want me to problem solve? I should have asked. I should have asked before I said anything. So yeah. Anyways, that's what he was wrestling with yesterday. But generally, it was a nice day. We like a bunch of those trees that are getting cut down. We took the branches and we filled up the raised beds that we helped build a couple weeks ago. We made the enclosure for the tortoises and let the tortoises run around. And the grass is tall enough that we lost them at one point. And someone looked over and was like, the tortoises are gone! They're gone! The panic. They were there. It was fine. They were just, like, in the grass. And I made a bunch of dandelion oil. And I also picked more dandelions to try and do that. Any of you who are on foraging TikTok at all, you've probably seen this video. But there's a video about, like, this sort of Appalachian style way of making a dandelion sandwich, where you just pick a bunch of dandelion heads and you clean them really well to get all the bugs and stuff off of them, and then mix them with like flour and salt and fry them in butter and put them in a sandwich. And a bunch of people are trying it and they're like, why is this good? It's so good. So picked a bunch of dandelions yesterday to try that today. We don't have flour at the other house, so I have to remember to grab the flour on the way out. But I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna make dandelion sandwiches, dude. I have to. There is such an insane abundance of dandelions at this place, and I know they've never been hit with a pesticide in their life, so I'm not worried about eating them at all. You know, a lot of times with things like this, people will say, you know, just make sure you don't pick too much because you don't want to, you know, you don't want to like destroy their ability to keep coming back every year, right? You want the abundance to continue in the future for the bees and for, you know, whatever. I could pick for hours and there would still be so many of these fucking things. I'm not worried. Dandelions are super good for you. I've just never attempted to eat one, so I'm gonna attempt it. I'm gonna see how it tastes. I also know that people use the roots to make like a coffee alternative. I gotta know. I didn't think they were edible. The whole thing is edible. All of it. People make pesto out of the leaves. They fry up the heads, the like actual flowers, and they grind up, they like dehydrate and grind up the roots and use the roots for shit. I was talking with Nancy and she was like, my hamster, they're like really expensive treats for my hamster that are dandelion root. I was like, what the fuck? Stop buying that shit. Look at all this. It's a free snack, dude. Anyways, so I figure if we've got this abundance of dandelions and we're going to in the future, I might as well learn how to do something with them, you know? It's free from the ground to my mouth. Anyways. I have childhood memories of picking the heads off of flowers and snacking them with a friend. I wonder if they were dandelions. The only flowers that I remember eating as a kid were roses, and I did not like them, for I think obvious reasons. But my dad was like, yeah, you can eat them. They're edible. And so I ate them, and I was like, yuck. Clark spent, I want to say, an hour and a half just feeding dandelions to the tortoises, and eventually they stopped eating them, and she was like, they must be full. But what it actually was they were like, you know what, I'm good, homie. It's like when you eat too much top ramen, and you're like, I need a salad. They had eaten so many dandelions that they like booked it for a totally different plant and just started munching on that, and she was like, oh, they were still hungry. Like, yeah, they just need variety, honey. I think just dandelions all day isn't going to cut it. But we're allowed to let the chickens out now. So I've been letting the chickens out for a couple hours every day. And there's a specific spot of the property that they keep running to. They just go there immediately, and I can't tell if it's because there's something over there that's like particularly delicious to them. But something really fun was, I've always had such a hard time if I need to like corral these chickens, right? Because they are not, aside from Bergie, they do not let me pick them up. So if I need, for whatever reason, need to get them back into the coop, right? It's always a rigmarole. And my mother-in-law brought their Mastiff, Mabel, over. And dogs that are like, that are bred to be herding dogs, they just herd anything, right? So the second she realized that we were like trying to get the chickens into the coop so that the other dogs didn't chase them, she was like, don't worry, I got this. And literally just gently herded them into the coop. It was amazing. I was like, Mabel, good girl. You did so well. She was like, it was so cute. She did amazing. I know. Good girl, good girl. The other dogs are little like sausage dogs, and they chase anything, dude. So we were like, we don't need those dogs stressing the chickens out. We were trying to figure out where to put the ferrets, and I was like, well, the ferrets are really social, right? And they like to watch people and stuff. Maybe we should put them near the chickens, and then they can watch each other. And Nancy was like, no. She's like, ferrets will kill chickens. I think the chickens will be very stressed out if they can see the ferrets. I was like, never mind. Never mind. That's not a thing I knew about ferrets, but I guess if I had thought about it a little bit, it would have made sense. Yeah, oh my god. Our dog Jake, when I was in middle school and high school, he was the best dog. I've never met or had a dog that was anything remotely like Jake. He's just the best. Anyways, maybe that's why I'm so resistant to getting a dog. It's not just because of my mom's allergies. It's also like, I know I'll never have a dog that I feel as close to as I felt to Jake. Anyways, so Jake was an Australian Shepherd Border Collie something, like some kind of a mutt. And, dude, that dog tried to herd cars, people, animals, anything. The cars specifically were like a real issue, and my dad kept trying to come up with creative ways to be like, don't fucking do that, right? But I've told this story before, and it just reminded me of it. This whole, like, herding dogs, they don't need to be trained. They'll just herd things, right? My mom and I were coming home in the car, and we were driving down the driveway. We have a really, really long driveway to this farm. And we were coming down the driveway, and Jake was behind the car doing this, herding the car, right? Came up around to the side of the car, was running right next to the car, and was suddenly just not there. And we were like, what happened? And it's because he was watching the car. I would like to preface what I'm about to say by telling you that he was totally fine. But he just slammed directly into a huge rock, like a gigantic rock that we had out there. And was just gone. And we were like, Jake? Because he was trying to herd the car and he wasn't paying attention. He just ran into a rock. He was fine, but I was like, oh my god! Literally Looney Tunes, yeah. Poor baby. Walking into a lamppost while looking at your phone vibes. Fully, 100%, yeah. Right, what a goober. What a good boy, but also a goober. I wanted to do my hair this morning, but I couldn't find the flat iron, and I was like, did I leave it at the old house again? I don't think I did. So now I'm like, where did it go? What are you gonna do? It's just getting, like, these bits are getting so long now that they, like, poke my eyeballs, you know? Not my fave. The two-house curse. Literally the two-house curse. You know, something that's been nice, though, is if we can't find something right away, like, if Clark is like, I need glue to do this, legitimately the glue is at this house, but, like, she accepts things not being findable so easily right now. Be like, I'm so sorry, honey. I think that's at the other house. And she goes, oh, okay. It's great. Any of you who have a kid around that age, if you keep running into a situation where it's like, they are fully like, I have to find this thing now, right? And will not be swayed. It's very easy when you're like, we haven't fully moved out of the other house yet, so it's probably there. And she's like, damn, you're right. It's great. It's not gonna last for long. It's not gonna last for long because, you know, we've got one more month in this place, but hello, welcome everybody. My body. Yeah, play the second house card, exactly. For as long as I can. For as long as I can, I will play the second house card. Yeah. And then the only way to keep it going is to just sell the farm and get it a different place. We were putting up a bunch of pictures. Clark gets very sentimental about pictures of herself when she was really little. It's always like, it can never just be, oh, look, it's a picture of me as a baby. It's like, you know, like the Wolverine meme. It's her holding the picture with her hand on it like, oh. Oh, Mommy, that was at our old house. I really loved that house. Oh, Mommy, look, I'm wearing the jumpsuit with the daisies. I really loved that jumpsuit. Like, everything is so, like, deeply personal. There's a picture of her in, not Portugal. Where were we? Mallorca. Mallorca? Oh my God. Where did my brother-in-law get married? When my brother-in-law got married. Wherever the fuck we were for that. There's a picture of her as like a baby walking down the street. It was like almost nighttime. There was nobody out, but we were still eating our food. And Clark was just kind of toddling around. And I have a picture of her after I've called for her and she's turned around to like start toddling back. It's like a picture of her on the street with like all of these houses around her and stuff. And it's very cute. And she looked at that picture for so long today before we hung it up. I was like, Mommy, where were you? And I was like, I was taking the picture. And she was like, right, but where are you in the picture? I was like, I was taking the picture. So you can't see me because I was taking the picture. And she was like, oh, were you sitting there? No. Were you sitting there? It was like pointing all over the place in the background. I was like, honey, I was sitting behind the camera. Like trying to explain this. Like, remember when you take a picture, you're not in the picture, right? If you're taking a picture of something that's over there, you're not in the picture. And she was like, oh. It's cute. Yeah, just, I don't know about all this. Yeah. That freaking gif of Clark doing this. I love it so much. I send it to people on Discord all the time now. But it did inspire us, like looking at the pictures that we have. I was like, holy shit, I haven't printed off and framed or like put up pictures of anybody from the last like year at least. So Clark and I started going through our pictures and like choosing sort of, you know, springy summery looking pictures to print off and hopefully find some little cheap frames for and put them up as well. I was like, I have no pictures of Cass, who is our nephew that's a year old. Like, no pictures of Cass. There's no pictures of our other niece, who's now 2. There's no pictures of her anywhere. It's like, I need to get on this shit. I need, like, as much as, you know, I think that it's fine if somebody's like, actually, this is a wall of exclusively pictures of my child. I think that's fine. But, you know, I have tons of pictures of all of the kids. I just haven't printed any of them, so. Time to do it. we're officially planning out where we want to put the meadow. We've talked to a few people who have like thriving wildflower meadows out here and got a bunch of tips. And they were like, don't expect it to really be like flourishing, like thick, lush, beautiful for, you know, like 3 or 4 years, because you plant as much as you can, but what you really want is the seasonal like seeds and reseeding and reseeding and reseeding, you know, and it'll just get more and more lush. You know, you can't just like force that right away. It'll just happen over years. And we were like, great, okay, we'll get started quick, you know. But my father-in-law had a great idea, which is that because a lot of the wildflowers out here are really tall. So he was like, what if we have a path through it that's almost like a maze for little kids? Like a little path. So if we have like a huge area that we section off as meadow, and we decide like, and this is going to be like the walk area, and have it be kind of like a little meadow labyrinth. I think that's such a cute idea. And we have a bunch of trees to plant as well, so yeah, there's lots of fun stuff going on right now. Sam, oh my god. Sam got our very first wood fire going in the house. I took a bunch of pictures. He was like, you're so lame. It's like, don't call me lame. I think it's really cute that you were like, I want to start a fire. I loved it. So I was like, I'm taking pictures. It's our first wood fire in the house. Yeah, exactly. There can be a little, if you know which way to go, there can be like a little fountain and like a bench, you know, just like a cute little spot to sit and chill with wildflowers everywhere. It's cute. We can put little fairy houses and things along the paths. It would be super cute. So I have to get at least 2 lawn gnomes. At least 2. What I would really love is to go to my dad and say, can I have one of the gnomes? I grew up with lawn gnomes everywhere. For whatever reason, my dad had like 7 or 8 of them. But our property was big enough that like they weren't all clumped together, right? Like some of them were in the woods, some of them were on the lawn, some of them were like they were spread out, right? And I loved them. And part of me's like, it would be so cool if I could take one of these lawn gnomes to the farm here, but they're so fucking they're stone, right? They're so heavy. I don't think I could get them here. I do know about the phone alarm happening today. Yeah. We were talking about that. That's not a thing here, really, apparently. We get like practice alerts on our phones in America all the time, or like mandatory alerts for like children being missing, for fires, for tornadoes, like all kinds of shit that like activates your phone with an alarm. They don't do that here, apparently. So everybody's been like, there's gonna be a mandatory alarm happening on the phones as like a test, apparently. And a bunch of people out here are like, yeah, so they can get our information. It's for data they're trying to steal all of our info. And I'm like, wow, this is very normal in America. We get them all the time in America. In the UK, it immediately became a conspiracy theory. Yeah. We used to get in California, right? We got tons of Amber Alerts, which is missing child. So Amber Alerts that were like, look out for this license plate, look out for this information, right? Sort of thing. So those aren't national. Those are like local. And same with, you know, like natural disaster emergency stuff. So we would also get mandatory alarms that were like, you know, there's a huge fire nearby. Please keep your eye out for evacuation notices, all of that sort of stuff, right? So yeah, all of those sorts of things, those just happen. Like, you know, for anybody that they apply to. If my phone starts making noise out of nowhere, I'll riot. How desensitized do you get to those alerts? Is there a point where you just completely ignore them? I never got to a point where I ignored them, no. I always read the Amber Alerts. The fire alerts fires were something that everybody in like Burbank, LA, Long Beach, all of that, you know. We were always on the lookout for fire stuff, because they happened every single year, multiple times a year, and sometimes whole areas had to evacuate. So yeah, anytime I got something that was like fire warning, I'd be like, where? You know. I just want to say hi and I shut up now. Okay. Have fun lurking. Hello. Midnight Sumo just gave me a shout out. I don't know why, but I appreciate it. Sir Boomer, welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you very much for subscribing. I hope you're having a good day. It's weird that the emergency broadcast network idea isn't more widespread. I guess it depends on like... I don't know. I was gonna say, I guess it depends on whether or not you consistently have like things like fires, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes that you need people to be constantly aware of. But things like Amber Alerts, like, hey, there's a missing kid in your area. That's, you know, that's good information, right? You can see the people who use shout out with your name. Yeah, it's in your activity feed. Whenever I get a shout out, it pops out. Or there's a killer on the loose who looks like this. Yeah, exactly. Like anything like that. It's like, yeah, make that mandatory, dude. I want to know that shit, please. Anyways, yeah. Long story short, they're very normal in America, so I was really surprised when in the fam chat, everyone was like, is this real? Is this actually happening? Is this a goof? It's an actual alert. I was like, do you guys not get these? It was because we initially started talking about like the legitimacy of it, because there was a notice going around that was like, if you are somebody who is in a situation where you need a secret phone, right? Where you have like, if you're in like a domestic violence situation or for safety reasons, if you have a second phone and you don't want anybody to know about it, turn it off before this time, right? Was like the sort of notice that was going around. And I was like, oh man, that's something that I never would have thought about. I'm surprised that we didn't talk about that more in America, considering how often those sorts of things go off. But maybe you don't need a notice in America because you know that they're going to happen, right? And then I realized through the context of the conversation that they were all like, wait, is the alarm actually happening? Was like what the conversation actually was. And I was like, oh, I guess they don't do those. Yeah, I think it's happening at 3 o'clock here. I want a hot baked potato now. Me too. I haven't had a baked potato in forever. I made a big... There was... Dude, remember like a week ago when I was like, I kind of want to get a slow cooker because I don't have a slow cooker anymore? I manifested it, okay? I went to Sainsbury's and they were like, here's all of our stuff that's on clearance. And they had a tiny slow cooker like this big. It was on sale for $5 and I was like, let's go. So I got it. And I made a pot of chili in it. And then Sam reminded me that it was date night. And he was like, normally on a date night, we get like Mexican or sushi food. Sushi food. As you know what? We don't say sushi food, but I wish we did. He was like, do you want sushi or Mexican tonight? And we'll have the chili tomorrow. And I was like, that's actually totally fine with me, because that gives a whole night for the flavors to blend a bit more, you know? Chili's fun that way. So I was like, sure. That means today we've got chili ready to go, dude. Petition to rename it to sushi food. Big fan of burger food myself. That's true. We can put chili in baked potatoes. That's so true. There's a channel called Sushi Food. Thank you, Gulzy, for gifting a sub. Hey, Dooger, I've been a big fan since the Co-op podcast days, kind of rediscovering your stuff. I loved watching the stream content. After randomly revisiting your old Path of Exile vid, UTB, Jesse, and the Yogscast were my entire teen YouTube era. Congrats on all the major life updates. Thank you so much, Sir Boomer. That's so sweet. Yeah. Here they do a lot of chili on rice. I've talked about that before, and how that is not how I enjoy a chili. But that's what Sam is used to, is chili with rice. So I'll probably wind up making a pot of rice as well. Yeah, they treat it more like a curry. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. What do you eat chili with? I sprinkle onions on top, and that's it. So Yeah, it totally makes sense to me now. At the time, I was like, why? Why put it on rice? I don't understand. Because, to me, chili has always been like a stew, basically. You know, you just eat it. You put it in a bowl and you eat it. And you maybe put cheese on top if you want. But yeah, it's treated more like a curry here. I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah, sour cream as well. Cheese, onion, sour cream is like the common combo on top of chili. Chili on Fritos. We don't have Fritos here, sadly. I've peaked. The nice old lady waitress at the diner knows my name and order now. Should I be embarrassed about how often I go? I loved that feeling. I haven't been there in forever because we haven't needed to go to the laundromat. But the diner that I was going to the breakfast place I was going to next to the laundromat, they knew exactly what I wanted the second I walked in. And they were always super sweet to me and asked how Clarky was and stuff. And I was like, I'm like a regular. Beans or no beans in the chili. I am not a meat slurry counts as chili sort of person. I make chunky chili. The chili that I made yesterday has no meat in it at all. It's lentils and 3 different types of beans, tomatoes, chilies. It's fine. It's fine to make chili that's basically just meat, but it is not my preference. Wait, checked imaginary watch. Isn't it Sunday? Not that I don't appreciate it. Why are you online? I normally, or I'm supposed to normally do a stream at this time every Sunday. It's probably been a little smushy the last few weeks, but... I had the older lady at my usual diner give me extra just for being nice to her. Cute. Sure. Everybody's looking for a different thing in their chili. That's absolutely fair. Which is why I used to get really aggro about like just meat chili. But you know, again, sometimes people are having chili with rice, chili with spaghetti, chili with, you know, cornbread. Like, depending on what you're eating it with, you might want something different out of it. I grew up eating chili by itself in a bowl. So I need it to, like, fulfill a lot of categories for me just on its own. But if I was just putting it on pasta, say, I might be fine with it just being a meat slurry, because at the end of the day, as long as the flavor is nice and it sticks to the pasta, it's doing its job, right? So I don't know. Oh, not to be a Sonic hater, but I don't like chili dogs very much. They're too messy. Shout out to anybody else who hates when like they're eating something and it gets on their hands. I hate chili dogs because I can't just pick up the hot dog like normal and not get chili all over my fucking hands. I hate it. So, no, I will have a normal ass hot dog with chili on the side. Thank you very much. Skill issue. How dare. This is also why I don't like sloppy joes. Anytime I would go to a friend's house and they would be like, bro, you came on the best day because we're having sloppy joes. I'd be like, I need to go home. Can you call my mom? I don't want to be here. Because I have such an issue with messy food. And I don't know why. It's not that I hate being like messy or dirty. I don't. But I hate when I'm eating and my hands are like becoming a mess. I don't know what it is. It's like a hyper specific, like, I just want my hands to be dry while I'm eating, please. Even if I have to use 18 fucking napkins to do it. Watermelon is like my favorite fruit. Oranges, love them. You can imagine the pain. They call me a napkin demon. You know, when I was younger, one of the parents had one of those like melon ballers. I'm an adult now. I can buy a melon baller if I want, and I really should. I just don't think of it. But like, it was the first time that someone was like, you don't actually have to hold this. I'm just going to turn them all into fun little balls of watermelon and you can just eat them with a fork or a toothpick or something. And I was like, this is the best. This is the best. Bone-in hot wings are a bit different. I'm trying to figure out how to explain how it's different. So like a burger, say, the bun of the burger is dry, right? And so if I get meat juice on my hand, it's like, no! I was holding the bun and the bun was dry, dude, right? With wings or something where it's like, I am ordering a thing that I know I have to pick up and experience with my hands. I can mentally prepare for that and be fine with it. I will be constantly wiping my hands, 100%. But it's not as much of like a, fuck, there was a possibility that I could have gotten through this without getting shit on my hands, you know? It's like a mental preparation thing. They said bone-in hot dogs. Holy shit. How do you eat tacos? I hold the taco shell and my hands stay dry. Just like a burger, as long as shit doesn't go wrong. You could be the person who uses a fork for the wings. I can't, because you always wind up leaving. You can't ever get it all off of there with a fork, you know? Stick your hands in the taco. The shell is the bowl, dude. You're not meant to eat that. Can I get... Hold on. I'm gonna run a poll here. I'm so sorry to the vegetarians in chat. I need to know this. Because Sam thinks I'm so weird for this. I need to know this. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm just going to make the poll. And then after the poll is up, for those of you where the poll won't show up, I will read it out loud. I just want the moment where it pops up and people are like, what the fuck? Okay. Here we go. The poll is up. The poll is, do you eat the shrimp tail? When you're eating shrimp, do you leave the tail behind? Or do you eat the tail? And if you don't eat shrimp, that's fine. You can just wait. Fried shrimp. If it's fried shrimp, do you eat the tail or not? This is the question. All right. 11% of you are with me. I always eat the tail. Always. It's perfectly fine to eat. Sam will not eat it. I'll eat it regardless. If it's fried, it's best, but I eat it regardless. Do you eat grilled fish skin? Like if you get like salmon with the skin on and it's cooked, yeah. Fish skin cooked is great. Fried is great. You're gonna say you eat bananas without peeling them. I don't eat bananas at all because they make my mouth catch fire. Yeah, this is the most unhinged thing I've ever heard. I'm telling you, if you eat fried shrimp, again, I know plenty of you don't eat shrimp at all. Plenty of you are vegetarians, and you know, whatever. If you eat shrimp, and if specifically you eat fried shrimp, and you normally go ow, and then leave the tail on the plate, and you've never tried eating the tail before, just try it. What have you got to lose? I am allergic to bananas, yeah. My whole mouth hurts. Oh, I eat kiwi skin as well. And I used to eat the center of apples. I don't know. You can just eat a kiwi, guys. You can just buy a kiwi and just eat it. I just need you to know this. There are some things that I think sometimes we don't eat, and we're not sure why we don't eat them. You can eat kiwi skin. You can just scrape the fuzz off if you don't like the fuzz. I don't mind the fuzz. So. Yeah, it is such a pain in the ass to not eat the skin to me. You might as well just eat the skin, dude. People leave. Furry fruit is a sensory nightmare. That is totally fair. There are quite a few of you who are like, I'm never gonna eat these things because I have bad sensory problems and I will never ever try eating these things, Dodger. No. And that's so fair. I used to look after a kid who only ate the white of oranges. The lingerie? I will always think of it as the lingerie now. I saw a post a while back where somebody was like, do you eat the orange with or without the lingerie? And that's all I think about. So. I love that today is just cursed food talk. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to just exercise that, you know? Now I'm leaving. I don't know how much more I have in the tank of like weird food stuff, but you know, it just keeps coming so far, so. Do you have ketchup on anything weird? No. I don't. I think I put ketchup on less things than most people. Ketchup is for fries and that's it. Yeah, I've never had like, I had friends who would dip pizza into ketchup, pizza into ranch. I've never tried pizza with ranch. It sounds like it's probably good, but I've never tried doing that. I would dip fries into ice cream a lot. I loved that. I've tried that as an adult. And it doesn't quite do it for me anymore, but when I was younger, I really liked that. I knew a kid who would put ketchup on oatmeal cookies. I don't like that. My mom would have kiwis and put them in an egg cup so I wouldn't have to touch the skin. That's very cute. I like that. Bro, there have been so many like interesting things that people are doing with cottage cheese now. I'm a huge cottage cheese person. So it's really fun to see everyone like, have you tried making an ice cream alternative with cottage cheese? Have you tried whipping cottage cheese? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? I'm like, I haven't. I would love to though, as a person who just loves cottage cheese on its own. I would love to try these weird things. Right? I love it. I find it really interesting how many people hate it. And I always wonder if it's texture. Or if people legitimately don't like the taste of it. It's bad mouthfeel. Yeah. Black pepper and cottage cheese. I've seen a few people say that. I've never tried that before. I don't remember putting anything in my cottage cheese. I would just eat cottage cheese. Oh no, I got real sick after eating cottage cheese and I can't stand it now. Sometimes that happens. You get sick on a certain type of food and you're like, never again. That totally happened to me. I was making chicken piccata one time, which is one of my favorite meals that my mom makes. And I got really sick after eating it. I won't go into the details, but the like smell of capers now, I love capers, but like if there's too much, it used to be that like if there was too much caperness going on in a thing, I'd be like, a little too much caper, but I'll still eat it. Now it immediately reminds me of being sick. I'm like, well, I don't know about this. I can't handle capers, too potent. Yeah. Yeah, that's tequila for Sam. Sam can't be anywhere near tequila. He can't smell it. He definitely can't taste it. He will not be around it at all because it reminds him of being really sick on tequila. In German, cottage cheese is called Hutenkäse. That's probably wrong. We have Brotzeit, bread time in the evening. Lots of bread and cheese. Cute. I've been snoozing it, but it really, really wants to run an ad. So we're going to run an ad really quick. Yeah. It's happening. So that's running because I couldn't snooze it anymore. And you guys can play some words, but I have to get it open. Here we go. Beep.
I'm gonna eat some chocolate.
Well done, guys. I'm gonna grab some water. Ugh. Two left. Yeah, I was just about to say, man, is anal not on there? And then I thought, oh, it's probably getting timed out. There we go. Nobody was gonna write it. You know what? That's so fair. We've got 1 more minute of ads, so we'll probably do 1 more game. Oh, guys. Sam and I can finally watch The Last of Us show. We've got 3 episodes left, I think. It's been so nice to finally watch it. No spoilers, obviously, but like, holy shit. Can I admit something to you? I didn't realize that girl, G-I-R-L, wasn't on there yet. And when I saw that there was 1 4-letter word left, I was like, girl, like G-U-R-L. Okay, you guys crushed that. Do you want 1 more? The ads are done, but you can have 1 more if you'd like. Girl! Okay, 1 more. Here you go. My mother-in-law just sent me a video called How to Make Wild Violet Jelly. She knows what I'm about. She knows what my interests are. Well done, gang. What's a pelmet? Let's find out. A framework placed above a window used to conceal curtain fixtures. And now you know. That isn't at all what I expected. Me neither. But you know what? That's why sometimes we search. We go to the internet and we say, what's going on here? A P-shaped helmet would have been cooler. I agree. With you moving from the States, does Twitch take a lot more from you because of the conversion rate? It's more just like, I get the same amount because it still goes into an account that has dollar amounts. The problem is when I take that money and put it into an account or a saving situation that goes by pounds, it is depressing to see that number drastically change, right? Not even just because of the fees, just the conversion itself, the change in the number is so huge. So it's like, I know that technically it's still worth the same dollar amount, but I don't live in a place that uses dollars. So the dollar amount means nothing to me. So I just get the psychological damage of, you know, seeing a number in dollars turn into a number in pounds and being like, it feels like I lost money somehow. I know I technically didn't, but it feels like I did. But things are now starting to just be put directly into a UK bank account. So I'm not doing that conversion situation anymore for the most part anyway, so. Sorry for making this so traumatic. No, it's totally fine. It's a valid question. I guess I more mean if you take out the whole aspect of like taking the dollars and putting them somewhere else, take away the fees aspect of any of this. Yes, I get charged fees. Sam gets really annoyed with me every time I buy petrol with like a card that uses dollars because he's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're getting gouged, right? But take that part out. Literally just typing in, I have $10, how much is that in pounds? Makes you go, nice. Cool, right? So bump that up to like way bigger numbers. The difference feels way bigger, is what I'm saying. Do you think of prices in pounds or dollars when you're in stores? It took me a long time to stop thinking of the currency of the country that I left when I moved. I mean, you guys probably catch me doing this all the time. When I was telling the story about the crock pot, right? I went to Sainsbury's. It was £5 on clearance. But what I said was it was $5. I'm thinking in dollars, right? It wasn't $5. It was like $8 or $9. Not that that's like a damning difference, but you know, No, I'm not thinking of things in pounds. I never am. We have teams of people to convert money at the most opportune moments. Oh, interesting. What's something that you'd see as super expensive there compared to the US? Like, what's really expensive in England that isn't expensive in America? This is a really specific answer, but it's just because it's been coming up recently because I've been cooking with it a lot. Spam. Spam. Spam is so cheap in America. It's so expensive here. Because it's imported, right? But it's expensive. If you like cooking with Spam, which I do, in America, it's like it's kind of a struggle food in America sometimes. It's not here. You gotta pay a lot to get Spam here, which is like such a huge bummer. I will take your finest imported Spam. Spam's great. I love it. I guess that's true. It's become more. People are cooking with it more now, I guess. Try finding Asian Spam. The brand is Malling. Malling. Oh, Malling. Oh, it's the same thing? You can get it at Tesco. Now we're fucking talking. Spam versus Malling. Let's go. Oh, it doesn't actually. Okay, never mind. I was like, yeah, tell me. Give me the deets. Give me the versus. I want to see the battle. Okay, how much is it at Tesco? £0? I don't think that's right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm sorry. I'm surfacing. Yeah, you just grab it. Yeah, I use it to make my fried rice. Oh, I mean, when Sam was in England, when Sam was in America, we paid unreal amounts of money for English things if we saw them in the like international section of the grocery store, you know. Because sometimes if you're able and you see something that's from your country and you think, I want that so bad right now, right? Like just for the spark of joy it'll give me. We paid stupid amounts of money for like digestives and stuff, just things that Sam was like, I just want this so bad right now, you know. We went to the store once and saw red vines and I lost my mind, and we bought them. I do not remember how much they were, but it was not a normal amount of money for red vines, you know. Just that like taste of home element, even if it's something where you're like, that really, you're gonna pay a bunch of money for that? Surely you could go to just an actual import store and get you know, something that's higher value for that amount of money. But yeah. Dang, I guess I'll give spam another chance. I think look up, there's lots of, you know, where they use spam a lot is places like Hawaii. I would say look up recipes, like Asian recipes, Hawaiian recipes that use spam. And you'll probably find stuff that uses it in a way where it really like elevates everything, you know. I've never had spam and I'm now very curious. I mean, it's a canned brick of meat, dude. It's not super exciting. It's just, it is a hyper specific flavor, and if you associate it with or are used to it being in a food that you really like, it's really hard to find an alternative that tastes like spam, you know. So yeah, from and don't quote me on this, I'm not a history person really, but from what I understand, the reason that it has been utilized in food so much in like Korea and Hawaii, etc., is because it was like a wartime food. So it was a World War II canned meat ration. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I always get super confused about that. Depending on where you live, corned beef will either mean a canned food or it will mean like a big thing of beef. And a lot of times here, if people are talking about corned beef, they mean like a canned meat situation. Yeah, it's interesting. All that sort of stuff. We have really just said today we're going to talk about food. I love that. That's great. I'm starving now, but it's, you know, it's good. I'm proud of us. No, it's a specific, well, okay, how I grew up with it, corned beef, it's like a specific cut of meat with a bunch of really specific spices, and you cook it with cabbage and potatoes. You cook it for hours, and it's delicious. It is not, there's no corn involved typically. I don't know why it's called corned beef, if I'm being totally honest. You could probably search that, but yeah, great on a sandwich. Oh, the corn is from the peppercorn. That makes so much sense. Oh my god, everybody's saying different things. Corn is the process of preserving meat with salt. Comes from corn or some other word that means mealed up. After the corns of salt used on it. I don't know what's the truth, and it's fine. I don't need to. Corn actually comes from the chaos god Corn, and now we're talking. Here we go. Have you ever tried za'atar? No. And the number of recipes that I see where people are like, and now we're gonna slam some za'atar in this. It's like a spice mix, right? I've never had it before, and I keep thinking if I see it at the store, I'm gonna get it because I am so curious. Like, what is it? I'm so curious. Tesco has it. I'll have to go to a Tesco. We don't have a Tesco like super close to us, but I know where one is, so. I need to remember to grab my, like, a bunch of spices before I leave. I need to grab spices. I need to grab flour. What else? Is there anything else that I needed to get? It's like thyme, sumac, sesame seeds, salt, pepper, etc. Time for a Maling and Za'atar Tesco run. Yeah, the list, dude. The Tesco list. It's getting filled out. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. I have curried rice in the fridge along with cooked veggies, but the brain is craving French fries from the air fryer. Do it. Our air fryer's good. At the risk of sounding like I'm part of an air fryer cult, because I've been informed that that's what everybody who has an air fryer sounds like. We love it. We love it. We use it a lot. So, I'll leave it at that. A random question: is motherhood what you imagined it to be? For the most part, yeah. Yeah, it is. I knew that it was probably going to be really hard, and it is. But I also imagined that it was going to be really fun, and it is. So, yeah. Have I run into a bunch of shit I wasn't expecting? Sure. But I also, like, knew that was gonna happen because I've never been a parent before, so I knew that I was gonna run into shit that made me go, I don't know what to do about this, you know? Something I didn't expect was to, like, constantly have to do, like, work on myself. I should have expected that. And maybe, like, conceptually I expected that, but, like, kids are really good at, making you realize things that upset you that you didn't realize upset you as much as they do. If you have any sort of like auditory triggers, if you had a really difficult childhood where you weren't really allowed to be a kid. Not saying that applies for me, but it did apply for my dad, right? And I think about this all the time because of that. My dad had a lot of fun with us, but he had a really difficult time with like kids just being kids. He would get frustrated sometimes. And I recognize that now for what it is. It's because he's reacting with a lot of discomfort because he was never allowed to be a kid, right? He wasn't allowed to just like have childhood joy and just have that be what it is, right? It's those sorts of things come up when you have kids. And sometimes it's really hard to identify like what is happening to you, right? Like, I don't know why I feel so uncomfortable about this. I don't know why this is upsetting me so much. That shit sucks. It sucks when something pops up like that and you're like, okay, I'm recognizing that this is an issue now. This is something that's getting in the way of my kid having a good childhood, or it's getting in the way of me being a reliable parent or whatever. So I guess I have to address it now. I guess I have to deal with that shit now, you know? Yeah, I would say that's the hardest part for me. But in terms of like, is it as fun as I expected and as hard as I expected? Yeah. And the good really outweighs the bad for me. So. You'll get upset about random things, and if a button can be pushed, it will be. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I never thought of it like that. I hate errant or unexpected noises for that very reason. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think for people like my dad, sometimes it's just like you feel so uncomfortable with it because in a way it sort of flashes you back to, if I had behaved this way, I would have been told off, right? Or something similar, right? And it just creates this like really uncomfortable feeling in your whole body and your mind. And I think that's so sad. I think that's really, really sad. But yeah, it's that, you know, big and little things will come up that make you go, why am I reacting that way? You know? So. Yeah, I had a rather rough childhood. I have sensory issues, and I'm constantly having to stop and breathe around my 6-year-old daughter so that I don't overreact to things that she would have no way of knowing about. Totally. But it's awesome, though, right? Because, like, that's you displaying, like, the ability to step back and take a moment and, like, you know, that's good for kids to see us doing as well. I do that around my kid all the time. And yeah, I feel so bad. Sometimes I react in a way that is like way beyond what the actual situation was, right? And I always try to make sure to apologize. But as she's gotten older, sometimes she'll be like, I'm really sorry I upset you, Mommy. I'm sorry that you're so upset. And I feel so bad because it's like, you don't need to be sorry. Like, you didn't do anything wrong, you know? Like, this is just me This is me reacting to a thing that has nothing to do with you, and it's not your fault, and I'm sorry that, like, you were put in a situation where it feels like it's your fault, you know? Like, that sort of stuff sucks. But, the hope is that you figure out things when you, like, start to notice it happening before it happens, right? So that you can take the steps to make sure that like altercation or whatever is avoided in the future. Yeah, my kiddo's turning 5 this week. She's so big. I'm a soon-to-be girl dad here in October. Congrats. I've been so scared of causing harm to my kid as a parent. Things to keep in mind. It's not going to be perfect. Your kiddo's going to be learning to be a human, and you're going to be learning to be the right parent for that kid, right? Things aren't going to be perfect, and you're going to make mistakes. And stuff is going to go wrong sometimes. And the most important thing that we can do when that happens is acknowledge that it happened and apologize to our kids, even if they're too little to understand it, right? To just, like, get into the groove of being like, I am so sorry, you know? Because the process of just, like, acknowledging it, when it happens in the future, every time you're going to think to yourself, this has happened before. What is it that is triggering me to respond this way, you know? And if, you know, it sounds like you want to make sure that you are a loving, attentive parent to your kid. Acknowledging and trying to repair when we fuck up is the best thing that we can do, you know? Yep. It's fun though. Little kids are fun. You want to scream, but it's going to be so fun. This is your 2-minute reminder that your phone is going to go beep. Good call, good call. Part of me is like, should I leave it on? But I should probably turn it off since I'm streaming. Maybe I'll just mute. I'm really curious what it's going to sound like. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and I'm going to mute. It's weirdly British that we're excited about this. I'm just curious. Oh, it's at 15. Okay, I'm muting. I'm just curious because we get them in America, but not in England. So I'm curious what it's going to sound like. Okay, BRB. I was like, it's gonna jump scare me. Even though I'm waiting for it, it's gonna jump scare me, and it did. It was not super loud. It wasn't super loud. It was like a on the phone. And it had a little button to be like, cool, I got it. And then it turns off. Can you explain for non-US citizens why that's happening? I'm in England, so this is a tester. In America, we get these a lot. They're either national or local alarms that you don't opt in for. You just get them to your phone. People were saying that on Android phones you can turn them off. I'm not sure why you would want to, but you can. But they are like widespread to everyone alerts for like natural disasters, for missing kids, for things that they want everyone aware of, either in a small area or countrywide. And occasionally we would get tester alerts that were like, this is just to make sure that this is working, basically, and get the data back that people are getting these alerts. That's what this was a tester. Because they don't do this in the United Kingdom. So it was a test, and it said, this is a test. Did you get it? And you go, yep. And then it goes away. Mine just went off. Oh, interesting. They're staggered. I guess we're only 1 minute past the hour, so. You have to respond. It's just a pop-up with a button. Hi, this is an alert. Did you get it? And there's a button, and you say, and you click the button, and then it goes away. We would also get them on TV in America. I don't know if that ever happens on TV here. But I also grew up with test alerts on the TV. So at a certain point every few months, no matter what channel you were on, an emergency broadcast system test would pop up. And radio, that's true. Yes, the TV emergency alert noise is burned into the back of my brain. Same. And when I was a kid, I could not understand, like, I'm trying to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog here, dude. What is this? What are these bars of color with, like, a static noise? I hate this. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is I didn't live somewhere where we needed, like, natural disaster alerts. But if you lived somewhere with tornadoes or hurricanes or floods or fires all the time, it's important, right? To be like, hey, the area you're living in needs to evacuate, right? Like, that's really good information to have. But where I grew up, it was never put into practice. We would just get the tests. So as a little kid, I was like, put on Powerpuff Girls, dude. I want to see what happens to Mojo Jojo. Yeah. I can't remember what state it was. I did a cross-country drive with someone a long time ago. And we were driving through a state that had tornado warnings, and I slept through it. There was a tornado warning, and the person I was driving with fucking freaked out, woke up, freaked out, went downstairs in the hotel we were in, went downstairs, was like, what the fuck is going on? They were like, it's a tornado warning, but like a tester. It's not real. You can go back to bed. Everything's totally fine. And so she's like panicking, shaking, thinking that there's something going on. I slept through all of it. I was like, I would have died if that was a real tornado and I was supposed to evacuate. I would have just slept through the whole fucking thing. I have no idea how I slept through it. It doesn't make any sense. They are designed to be alarming. You got too used to the alerts? I had never heard a tornado siren in my life. These are like, woo! Like big fucking loud ass shit. Not on a phone, not on a, like out in the fucking wild, right? Like you can hear them everywhere. And I slept through it. It's a good impression. Thank you. They're deafening. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know how I slept through it. No clue. But they tested it in the middle of the night. Every third Tuesday of the month they would test ours. Interesting. I can't remember. Have I ever shown you guys the video? There's a video that I think about all the time when I hear like alarms. It's a video of a little kid, maybe like 1.5, 2 years old, and they are toddling their heart out, like running to get to someone, and they slam into a glass door. They didn't realize the door was there. They slam into a glass door and go, the caption was like, the cutest alarm I've ever heard. And I think about that all the time. It's so fucking funny. Like, it just slowly ramps. It's so good. It's the Saiyan alarm. I need to see it. Yeah, I'll have to find it. It's so funny. I discovered that my cat was deaf when he slept through a fire alarm. Up until then, I thought he was just ignoring me. Oh. I know that cats and kids are not the same. There's overlap, but I know they're not the same. But this is reminding me of the situation with Clark and her glasses. Like, sometimes you're like, this is normal kid behavior, right? and then you know, either they get tested just because, or a specific situation makes you go, or it's not normal kid/cat behavior. My kid wears glasses now, for anybody who missed that. She wears glasses. Her eyes are about the same as mine. I'm supposed to wear glasses. I left mine on a plane and have yet to go and get new ones. But but yeah, we thought her eyes were totally fine, and then she got them tested and she could not see for shit far away. So, whoops. Yeah, I'm really glad that we found out now, because she's in school now, right? And you don't realize there's so much that I missed in school because I just couldn't read the board. And you get really used to telling yourself, like, well, no one can read the board from back here, you know? And that's not the case. That's not true, but you don't realize it. Yeah, and I was saying that to Sam too, Because he was like, you're supposed to be wearing glasses all the time. She's supposed to be wearing glasses all the time. And I was like, yeah, but like, when you're nearsighted, you sort of, if you're like in your house, you can see everything that you need to interact with in your own house, you know? So like the necessity to wear glasses is lessened. But yeah, you know, it just doesn't stand out as much when you're interacting with like shit at your desk, and when you're cooking, when you're, you know. Yes. As a not in school person now, the real reason that I need them is to drive. 100%. You're setting a bad example. I know. I'm going in, getting them tested again next week to double check that my prescription hasn't changed. And if it hasn't, then I will get new glasses. Jodlearn, happy 100 months. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, Clark really likes her glasses, but she is 4. So she keeps doing things with her glasses that we're like, honey, no. For example, yesterday, we have a huge pile of wood chips now because the trees are getting chipped for us to use in things, right? So we have a giant pile of wood chips, and we were spreading them around, and Clark wanted to play King of the Castle on top of the wood chips, as you do when you're a child. So she was climbing up there, having a blast, and leaned over to look at something, and her glasses fell off and fell into the wood chips, and she thought it would be funny to bury the glasses in the wood chips. And I was like, nope. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing that, dude. So she handed me the glasses, and I put them inside because I was like, you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted with these glasses and the wood chips. Also, because they're conifers, these wood chips were super sappy. And so another thing that kids really love to do when they're standing on or next to a pile of things is to pick up a big handful and dump it on themselves. So my kid dumped a bunch of wood chips all over her head. And then I had the delight, the absolute pleasure of washing and rewashing her hair in the shower, and then asking her to sit while I tried to brush and comb through all of her hair and make sure that all of the wood and sap was out of it. She has no fear of bugs. Oh, she loves bugs. Bugs? Did I tell you guys about the wasp? No, I don't think I've streamed since the wasp, have I? No, because that was Saturday morning. Oh my god. There was a gigantic wasp in our house. Maybe about this big. I'm not shitting you. Just fucking gigantic wasp, right? And it was walking around in the living room. And Clark was like, I want to get closer. I was like, just be careful. It's acting like it can't fly. It probably can't fly. But, you know, I don't want it to like pull a bait and switch and get really aggro with you, okay? Because sometimes wasps can get very aggressive, right? So Clark is just watching this wasp, and she comes over to me and she's like, Mommy, we have to help it. And I was like, okay. So we nursed this wasp back to health. We picked, Clark picked out a green piece of cardboard paper so that it would look like a plant. We put it in front of the wasp. The wasp climbed onto the paper. We put it outside. And then she was like, it's not walking anymore. And I was like, that's true. She was like, we have to give it sugar or honey or something so that it can get its strength back. And I was like, okay. Just fighting against the part of my brain that's like, just fucking kill it, dude. It's a wasp. So we gave it a little pile of honey, and it walked over and it ate a bunch of honey and it flew away, and she was so happy about it. So it was worth it. But I was like, I cannot believe in this house. I cannot believe in this house that we are nursing wasps back to health now. Fully, yeah. She's not been stung, which I think is partly why she's able to interact so easily with wasps and bees. Like, she is not, like, she doesn't want to get stung, but she doesn't have a memory to pull from of, like, what happens when you get stung, you know? So I've talked about this before, but my kid is like a weird bug necromancer, and there have been multiple bugs where I've been like, honey, it's dead. That is a dead bug. It's a dead bee. It's a dead ladybug. It's a dead XYZ, right? It's dead. And she will do everything she can to bring this bug back to life. And the number of times that it has worked, I don't even bother saying I think that's dead anymore. I just don't bother, because she's proven me wrong so many times at this point that I'm like, I bet it's alive, actually. So, yeah. A single tear drops on the dead bug and it rises at full strength. My little swarm keeper. My little swarm keeper druid. Oh, goodness. That's so precious, but also I would get that wasp the fuck out of there. Yeah. I made the mistake of telling her that, like, you can have snails as pets. And now she's really interested in snails. Yeah, she's just really into creepy crawlies, which I am too. At her age, definitely not. I never really had an inclination to think to myself, like, I want to have pet bugs, you know? But she wants pet bugs. She wants all of the pet bugs. I mean, Clark has cats. She's grown up with cats. My mother-in-law and father-in-law have dogs, so she'll have dogs and cats around. Would we ever have an indoor ant colony? I have such a huge problem with ants. I don't know that I could. I think having a thing with ants in it, as much as I love ants and find them fascinating, I think having a thing with ants in it in our house with her at this age, where she could easily just knock it over, the anxiety I would feel, I don't think is worth it. Jumping spiders, tarantulas, things like that, I could totally get down with. I couldn't do ants, I don't think. Jumping spiders, they're so, yes, jumping spiders are so cute. They're so cute. They're very good pets. They're really social. Yeah, we have a terrarium with isopods in it. But a lot of them have died. And it's the soil in there, the mycelium, whatever sort of fungal situation is happening in there, that the isopods were meant to be like eating, is now starting to take over. And I don't know why the isopods died in there. I occasionally see a baby one, but I don't see any grown-ups in there anymore. And the fungus is like trying to take over. And I'm really curious what's going on in there. Isopods are like, yeah, like pill bugs. Mm-hmm. Watch The Last of Us and grow fungus in your house. Brave. I'm not scared of fungus. If it's gonna kill me, then do it. I love a mushroom. I find fungus very fascinating. All right, we gotta wrap up in a couple minutes here. I gotta go be a parent and hang out with my kiddo. Yeah, I think from I'd have to look, but from what I recall, there are certain types of snail pets that typically, like, a lot of people don't give them as much space as they actually need. So I would want to, if we were gonna get a snail, I would want to make sure that it had lots of, like, whatever it needs, you know? Well, it's a terrarium, so it has plants. It's meant to be self-sustaining. You're not supposed to have to do anything with it except to maybe trim the plants when they get too big. It's like when I watch those videos, sorry, this is like kind of a side tangent. When I watch those videos where people are like, I have a hamster and I'm going to make my hamster enclosure, and it's like fucking massive. And I can't, because I grew up in the age of people being like, I have a hamster, here's what it lives in, you know? It's so hard not to be like, God, isn't that overkill? But I'm sure it's not. It's probably not. It's just that, much like with goldfish, I grew up having it internalized, like, it's a hamster, it doesn't need anything, when it does, you know? It's a living thing that needs, like, that needs stuff, right? Sherlock Holmes The Awakened, aka Sherlock Holmes vs. Cthulhu, has very positive reviews on Steam. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I had a beta fish when I was in college. It was a tank this big. It lived for such a long time. But now, looking back, I'm like, oh my God, that poor fish. It was in such a small container, but that's what they had at the pet store. And I was like, surely they wouldn't let me buy a beta fish and a tiny ass tank if that wasn't fine for the fish. So I love betas, but can never house them together. Well, yeah, they'll kill each other, unfortunately. But they're beautiful. They're lovely. Yeah. We've been talking about getting a beta fish again. We just need, like, the right tank size. Anywho, we talked about pets. We talked about food. We talked about food for a long time, dude. Love it. Hey, any of you who are not there for this, when you get fried shrimp, do you eat the tail or not? Let us know while I start reading off the activity feed. Okay. Here we go. 2 days ago. Nope, too far. Too far. Here we go. Poldy, thank you for the 64 months. Nice Guy Nick for the 6. Never Normal for the 21. Pale Horse for the 69. Midnight Sumo, thank you again for the shout out. I hope you were having a good stream. Dark Themsby, thank you for the 102. Gulzy for the 5. Sir Boomer for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang again. Thank you so much. Midnight Sumo, thank you for the 37. Gulzy for the gifted sub. To Sushi Food. Ardark for the 81. Sir William for the 45. Farm Villain for the 5. Magian for the 44. Astral Mother for the 35. Greedo for the 42. Companda for the 18. Ziowo for the 73. Tactical Luke for the 69. Jodalern for the 100. Hasmobean for the 30. Crypt Kami, welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you so much for subscribing. And Atelos, thank you for the 7. And Yondo Aden, thank you very much for the 3. A Valentine from King's Warrior. Dooger, thank you for deciding to keep Valentines as a channel point reward. I always enjoy seeing everyone's sweet messages. This Valentine is sent to you with love, hugs, and appreciation. I love the Valentines too. Thank you very much. But also, yeah, I'm glad that we just left it. It's super cute. I love that, you know, people will use it to say something nice to everyone in chat, to say something nice to their partners, to like, it's just cute. I like it. Raid leader. Arix. Arix's second account. He's playing Wild Frost. Perfect. And he's live right now. I'm just gonna double check. Because sometimes it goes awry. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Let's go say hi to Arix. Thank you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. There's no Godforged tonight or anything like that. Godforged is over. We're doing our one-shot next week, I believe. But nothing going on tonight. So I will see you guys tomorrow for our normal stream. Okay? We're getting back into the swing of first impressions. We're going to be covering a bunch of games this week. So I'm really excited. I hope you all have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to Arix. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.